want to be. And you have designed a whole night, because we have to do things a little bit differently now in light of our COVID-19 concerns. You designed a whole night to attract families, and it's actually going to be easy for them to get involved. Talk about that.
Yes. Well, each year as part of our program guidelines, and those are program guidelines required all across the state of Arkansas, we are required to offer a parent night or a program night where we just share about gifted programming and what it's for and how students can be identified for those services if they're in need of those. And so this year we're moving it to Zoom, and we're hosting a GT Zoom night so families can learn more about gifted programming at all levels, kindergarten through 12th grade. And parents who are interested in participating in the Zoom night can register. We actually have a little tiny URL link set up. We've had a flyer out. We've posted it on Facebook, on Twitter, and it's on our website. But it's tinyurl.com/GT Zoom night. And they can go register for the event on Monday night, and we will give them or email them the Zoom link to access the meeting that night. And we'll be just giving a overview of gifted programming services for grades K through 12 that evening. And we'll also have some fun activities and some door prizes.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And again, that is going to take place on Monday, November 9th. And the time again is from 6 to 7, correct?
Yes, yes, 6 to 7.
Just in time for families to get home and have finished up dinner, hopefully, and join in and have some fun and get additional information. Speaking of having fun, Miss Rhonda Adams gets to do that every single day at Gibbs as she works with her GT students. Miss Adams, how long have you been a GT specialist?
This is my 20th year as a GT specialist.
Wow. So talk about what that experience means for you, but more importantly, what it means for your students.
Exactly. I mean, to me, it's the dream job because we give those children an opportunity to flex their creativity muscles, challenge their thinking process, and in a fun and interactive way that makes them really want to stretch to the impossible. So absolutely.
And they probably look forward to coming to school every day and getting to participate, because this is one of those environments where if you are an outside of the box thinker and doer, GT is probably the place for you, right?
Absolutely. They cannot wait to jump on. They're afraid they've missed something. So it's a pretty involved and engaging place for them to just exchange ideas and learn so much from each other.
Well, you worked with some very special students who have a little bit of a demonstration for us, or a presentation, if you will. Set that up for us before we see what they will be presenting.
Okay, we've got a few of our 4th and 5th grade GT kids here at Gibbs who want to tell you what their top 5 benefits of GT is to them personally. And when they're doing this, they didn't realize it, but they're also hitting the marks of some of the very special pieces that we also have on our brochure that really talks about the benefits of GT. So yeah, we're gonna tell you all about it.
That's great. So ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to this special video where you learn about the top 5 in GT, especially for those students at Gibbs.
Hi, I'm Addie, and in the GT program, I like that anyone can recommend or nominate a student for the Gifted and Talented program, including the student themselves. They call it self-nomination. I call it nice to be included in the process.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and in GT, I like to participate in extracurricular activities like Quiz Bowl, the stock market game, and yes, this stands for Youth Entrepreneurs Showcase. I think they call this creative thinking abilities that are being enhanced. I call it fun and challenging.
Hi, I'm Emily, and in GT, I like that we get to engage in interesting topics and take lots of really cool classes that help us use all the things we have already learned and introduce us to new stuff. The classes help us problem solve real-world problems like the one we are working on now, investigating a mysterious disease. They called that critical thinking and problem solving. I call it can't wait to take my next class.
Hi, I'm Sullivan, and in GT, I like to be surrounded by people and things that you can talk about. They call that positive interaction with intellectual peers. I call it a place where you can go and people won't judge you, where you can talk about anything.
Hey, I'm Victoria, and one of the things in GT I really appreciate is getting to work on my perfectionism and how to better handle things when things don't turn out how I want to. They call that helping with our social and emotional needs. I call it nice to know someone gets me and is trying to help me help myself.
Welcome back. We just enjoyed that great video presentation by those awesome fifth graders, did you say?
Fourth and fifth grade.
Fourth and fifth graders. They are wise and talented beyond their years. But we enjoyed that great video as they shared with us their why they enjoy GT programming. That was on the elementary side, but we also have a very special lady who's in charge of GT programming at the secondary level. And of course, that is Miss Jennifer Thomas. Miss Thomas, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role.
Okay, well, I have been teaching for almost 20 years, and I've been in Gifted for 9 years. I'm so excited about Gifted in the secondary level. A lot of times people don't realize that they are still identified as GT if they were identified in elementary, but you are still a GT student in middle school and high school. In middle school, we offer GT seminars, so you don't have to leave that fun learning and that exercising and creative thinking. You don't have to leave that in elementary. It continues on in middle school if you attend the GT seminar and an affective needs options. And when I say the affective needs options, every GT facilitator at a middle school or high school offers a once a month meeting with GT students. It is optional, but we welcome everyone to take advantage of that so that you can continue just energizing yourself and being around different peers that think like you and love different things that you love. And sometimes they even play chess or they do different type of quiz bowl type things there. So I do want to encourage you to reach out, find your GT facilitator if you don't know about those affective needs monthly meetings, because that is how we continue to service you. I also want to say that please take pre-AP courses. And then when you're in high school, please take your AP courses, because that offers you the rigor that you just so much want and need so that you can continue to flourish and be a successful adult. So that's what secondary GT really is about. And we just try to encourage you to attend all the Aegis camps that are offered, Arkansas Governor's School. We just encourage you and nourish you that way in secondary GT.
Wow, well, you're making me excited, and I'm not even a student or a parent. Well, I am a parent, but I'm an old parent. But I can imagine that this opportunity for our younger parents and parents who want to see their students continue to thrive in this environment is going to be great. So again, this is just a little snippet of what you can anticipate on GT Zoom night. We want to remind everyone once again, Ms. Cheneval, the date and the time, and just a really wonderful, warm invitation for them to come and join you for Zoom night.
Absolutely. So Monday evening, Monday, November the 9th, beginning at 6 p.m. is when we'll start our Zoom night. We're going to share some fun things, but we're really going to give a great overview of all of our programming options for kindergarten through 12th grade, and even extra opportunities that students may have throughout the school year for extra learning opportunities. So we invite everyone to join us. If you want to learn more about gifted programming or advanced placement programming, join us on Monday night.
So I think we're going to leave it there until Monday night. So let's give everybody a chance to say it together. We'll see you Monday November
night, 6 p.m.
for
Well, good evening, everyone that's joined our GT Zoom night. I hope you guys can all hear me, but we certainly want to welcome you to our meeting. We started by sharing our promotional video that Ms. Pamela Smith assisted us in preparing to invite everyone into our GT Zoom night. The purpose of this meeting is to share information about the Gifted and Talented program and give you a complete overview about everything from kindergarten through 12th grade and program options that your students can enroll in or be identified for. So we're going to kick our meeting off now. We just wanted to share the video because it showcased some of our wonderful GT students at Gibbs. And we have several of our staff members on here tonight. And I'd like for them to give you a good wave so you can see who they are. And I have all changed our screen names, or I have not changed mine, but they have each changed their screen names to their school names so that you can put a face with the school and know who your GT representative or your specialist, facilitator, GT coordinator is at your campus. And so we're going to get started by having a little bit of fun tonight. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, let me see if I can just share this screen with you guys. Trying to set this up. What I would like to ask each of you to do while I'm getting this set up this evening is to go to the top corner of your screen where the three little dots are and rename yourself by your school and then your name so that we know which schools are represented here tonight for our GT Zoom night. And I'm going to share this screen. We're going to start a fun lesson. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we have a new fun platform that the classroom teachers across the district are utilizing in their daily instruction. It's called Nearpod. And so our presentation tonight is actually in Nearpod. And so we'd like for you to join us if you can open a new tab and by going to nearpod.com, join.nearpod.com, just like you're seeing there on your screen, and use the code there to join our lesson and you can follow along. So we're going to give you a few seconds to find that before we move along in our Nearpod presentation. And as we are working through our meeting tonight, we will be giving away some door prizes. And also, if you have questions, please feel free to post those in the chat. We're going to pause every now and then and try to answer those questions. We do ask that you keep yourselves muted. We have quite the crowd here tonight, 181 participants. So thank you again for joining us. And just to give you a little bit of information about the GT Zoom night, we typically do these meetings face-to-face at the individual campuses. So each fall, each GT specialist at our elementary campuses and our GT facilitators at middle school and high school usually share a program overview as part of, they might do it as part of some type of school function, a parent night, a curriculum night of something of that nature, and they would share out about GT programming. But since we're in this season where we're socially distancing, we've moved this to a different platform and we're thrilled that you're here with us. Please be gracious with us because we're all new to this and we're figuring it out as we go. So we appreciate your being with us tonight. So again, join.nearpod.com and the code for tonight is AUFJR. So I'm going to close that out. We're going to get started. We also want to share this. These are just some pictures showcasing some of our programming of the past and the thought that you are what you believe yourself to be. And, you know, the power of positivity is so important that we think forward, that we have a growth mindset with our students, regardless of whether they're identified for a gifted program or not, so that we continue to grow and achieve new things. So we want to begin by sharing that thought with you. And as we get started, again, welcome to our very first online GT Zoom night. And if you just joined us, the purpose of tonight is to share about gifted and talented programming and advanced placement programming, just give you all of the details about what those programs are for and what services that they provide. So we want you to join or do this little I guess you could say poll in Nearpod. If you're in there already, I see some folks have already gotten in there. Provide us with your answer so we can kind of tailor tonight to your needs. We'd like to know who we have the most of, parents or students or community members or staff. So hop on there on this slide and select your answer so we can kind of see who we have with us. Right now, it shows that we have about 34% parents of kindergarten through 6th grade. Oh, that just jumped up to 53.5. So that's what we suspected because this is kind of tailored for our elementary parents, and we do include information about secondary though. So if you're a secondary parent, hang around. You're going to learn about advanced placement and program options at middle school and secondary levels too. So right now we've got 55.9% parent of a K-6 student. We have 10% students. Students, thank you for joining us tonight. We got some staff members and we've got some parents of 7 through 12 students. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. If you didn't get your answer in, we're going to scoot on by and go to our next activity together, just to kind of get us into the fun of things. We're going to see what you know already, and we're going to play a game. So I'm going to get you started in our game. And let me go back, make sure that we're doing this correctly. Let it load. And hopefully you're able to see that on your end as well. Okay, here we go. So we're going to ask you to pick a character to represent you in tonight's game. It's a fun 5-question quiz about gifted and talented programming. And when we hit start, you'll be able to race to the top of the mountain up there. You can see in the background a little mountain with a trail going up to the flag, the end of course flag at the top. So hop on in there. We're going to give you a few moments to do that. And I noticed someone in the chat ask, what is the code? If you look at the very top corner, the code is AUFJR. AUFJR. So we got 91 people already in our game. This is amazing. Going to give you just a couple more minutes. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, drop those in the chat for us, and we'll work hard to answer those questions or connect you with someone who can. So 97 players. This is going to be a marathon of a race. So, all right. And if I noticed someone put in here that they're a parent of a kindergarten and an 8th grader, they just had to select one. That's okay. That's completely okay. You're going to get information about both anyway. So I know someone said, I can't believe there are over 190 participants here. Yes, I know. We're at 185 though. We have lost a few, but we still have a huge crowd tonight. So thank y'all for being here. Okay, now we're up to 102. Wow. Okay, this is going to be fun. So I love all of the characters you guys have chosen to represent you. And just wait a couple more minutes. There are a lot of people out there, and I don't want to leave anyone out. Of course, you don't have to participate in the race to the top, but it is a fun activity. And again, this is Nearpod, which is a new platform that our classroom teachers are using. I had the pleasure of being in a classroom a week or so ago as this was being introduced to students, and hearing them whisper to each other, oh, this is so cool. And there are so many different interactive activities. This is just one of them that can. Okay, somebody muted me, so I hope you heard that. All right, so we got 114 players. Okay, we are going to get ready to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay, question number 1. The purpose of the Gifted and Talented program is to select your answer. It's waiting for everybody's answers. Here we go. All right, question number 2. What area below is not part of the definition of gifted and talented youth? Submit your answers. 10 seconds left. Got a lot of players, so it's probably going to be a little bit slower. Here we go up the mountain. All right. Next question, question number 3. Who can refer a student for GT support services? Get those answers in. All right, question number 3. We're moving on to question number 4 now in just a moment. Here we go. Question number 4, true or false? The majority of gifted and talented programs in Arkansas identify the top 5 to 15% of students in their schools. Okay, parents and students, get your answers in. All right, and we are to question number 5. Okay, question 5, true or false? Only identified GT students can enroll in pre-advanced placement or advanced placement courses. Is that true or false? Okay, parents and students, 9 seconds left. Get your answers in. And we have one more question. We couldn't just stop at 5, so we have a bonus. So here it is. Question number 6, true or false? One myth about gifted students is that they will make everyone else in the classroom smarter because they provide a good role model. Is that true or false? Come on, parents and students, get your answers in. Seven seconds. All right, so our leaders, and I cannot pronounce this name, Bias Banerjee from Little Rock Central High School. Congratulations, you're the winner. And you know what? We actually do have a prize for you tonight for being the winner, and I have it right here. I hope you guys have checked these out. They are called Rocket Books, and you can take notes in these and then scan them into your phone. So pretty cool. So I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but from Little Rock Central High School, Bias Banerjee, if you will place your contact information in the chat for me, we will pull that to connect with you to get your door prize to you, okay? So great job. I know some of you were probably thinking, okay, I have no idea on these answers, and that's completely okay because we're going to discuss all of that this evening. So I'm at home, of course, as we all are participating in this. So I just want to say that if you have any issues with connectivity and you get kicked out of the meeting, just hop back on. And I just got a notice on mine that my internet's not stable. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me. If you can, give me a thumbs up, and we're just going to move right along and work as best we can through the evening. Technology is wonderful when it's working, so hopefully we'll get through that. We want to give you a quick program overview about gifted and talented services. And so I hope I didn't skip the slide here, but I'm going to make sure I didn't. I want to start by sharing our philosophy and our definition of gifted and talented. So, of course, we are committed to providing quality, equitable educational programs for students with a potential for giftedness. And this is actually included in our brochure and in our handbook, but we are definitely working to make sure that our programs represent our school populations and that we are identifying students with potential, regardless of their race or gender or any other factors that one might consider. So, and then I also want to share the definition. This is actually the Arkansas Department of Education, or the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's definition for gifted and talented. Gifted and talented children and youth are those that are of high potential or ability, whose learning characteristics and educational needs require qualitatively differentiated educational experiences and or services. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But that's actually our state definition of gifted and talented. And we look for possessions of these talents and gifts, or the potential for their development, to be evidenced through an interaction of three things: above average intellectual ability, task commitment, and motivation. So, and also creativity. So those are the things that we're looking for when we are identifying GT students that aligns with that definition of gifted and talented youth. Here's just a picture of what I shared with you. This is what we call Renzulli's definition of gifted. And so you'll see those three rings there: creativity, academic ability, and task commitment and motivation. And those are the areas that we focus on when we're identifying students. And they're also the areas we focus on in our program to build strengths with our students as well. And I also want to share this list of goals, and I hope that you can see it on your screen. I realize that the print is kind of small, but we do have this posted in our brochure on our website, and we'll also have this program, the PowerPoint from this posted, so you guys can go back and look at it on our website. But we definitely want to identify new students whose needs indicate a need for service and support. We want to offer a variety of program options to meet their needs, and provide educational opportunities that are different and are suited to the needs of our students, to provide a challenge and help them continue developing and growing academically. And then we, of course, want to always establish great learning environments, provide opportunities for active participation and engagement of students, their parents, their families, staff, and community members, and all of those other things that are listed there. Create processes and procedures that support the school's efforts to meet and exceed standards, recognize and celebrate diversity. And of course, we're always celebrating strengths and successes while we're working on supporting learning gaps, sometimes even for our students. And something that's really huge in the gifted program is the art of reflection. We try to really instill in everything that we teach and allow for opportunities for students to reflect on their learning and be their own best goal setters, and empower them to work toward those goals. So those are our goals within our program. Just to kind of give you some information about who we serve. Our current GT program enrollment as of 2020, and these are the program options that we serve all the way kindergarten through 12th grade. And I'll kind of go over these as we're looking at these numbers. So in kindergarten through 3rd grade this year, we are offering whole group enrichment. So you don't see a number out there because we're serving everybody. So if your child is enrolled in a kindergarten through 3rd grade classroom in the Little Rock School District, they are being supported by our program because our GT specialists go in every week and they provide an enrichment lesson for all kindergarten through 3rd grade students. And if your child is a virtual learner, then we are also providing those lessons within Schoology. And many of our specialists actually sent home packets and supplies and materials for students to participate in those weekly enrichment lessons. So we provide the support through both Schoology and face-to-face for those students that are attending face-to-face instruction at school. In grades, typically 3 through 5, we do our pull-out program, but due to the season that we're in, we were unable to complete our placement for 3rd grade simply because we were unable to pull in our students to finalize testing. But we're working on that in the near future in hopes that we'll be able to do that next semester and getting that testing of all 3rd grade students completed so that we can do our program placement for 3rd grade. So we do a pull-out program traditionally for grades 3 through 5, and the students who are formally formally identified in grades 3 through 5 receive 150 minutes a week of service. That equates to about 2.5 hours in the GT classroom, where they get to participate in different sorts of studies and challenges, and also work on maybe some of those little areas that they're having trouble with. And then, of course, in grades 6 through 8, we have seminar courses that students can take advantage of. Those are electives at our middle school level. And we have pre-AP and AP. And the numbers that you're seeing out there beside each of those are the numbers of identified GT kids currently enrolled in pre-AP and AP across the district. And then we do have several magnet schools in the district, and we have 826 identified GT kids attending those magnet schools. We have only about 20 GT kids. It shows that I'm really kind of, I did pull this data from our data system. I kind of question that. We have a lot of students who take concurrent credit, but I put that number in there anyway, because that's what it reported to me today. And then total students served, 3,669 students this fall. So I want to share those numbers with you and share what our demographics look like. We are 50%, a little bit over 50% African American, 31% white, and about 12% Hispanic. And then you'll see a smaller percentages there for LEP, Asian, Native American, Pacific Islander, and 2 or more races. So I want to definitely share that information out with you guys. And again, all of this is on our website within our community presentation file. There's a link there too. Again, these are our program options, K through 3, whole group enrichment for this fall, and grades 4 and 5, we're doing those pullout classes. And we're also offering instruction through Schoology for those pullouts. If your student is a virtual learner, they are getting their instruction from their GT teacher through Schoology. And then again, in grades 6 through 8 and 9 through 12, we offer those upper level courses, our pre-advanced placement and advanced placement courses to our GT students. In addition to GT seminar, we offer some some content courses and things of that nature. So those are, there are definitely many options for the students to participate in. So we're going to stop here, and Susan Jackson, one of our GT specialists, she is our prize queen for the evening. Susan, are you with us?
Yes, and let
Here
me
she
get
is.
up. I've got a random generator for numbers. I have that we have 302 who registered, even though not everyone is on here, but it is correct. You have to be present to win though, right?
Absolutely. Have to be present to win.
Okay,
So she's going to generate a number.
And I will give you, I guess, the student's first and last name, because I don't have parent first and last names. Here we go for the first one. Number 215 on my list, and that is Robin Hillman at Man Arts Magnet.
Okay, so Robin, if you're on, please place your name in the chat, how we can get in touch with you. And so this is a man student. All right, I'm going to try to find the most appropriate gift for our man student. And I have a book called The 101 Success Secrets for Gifted Kids. So this is a door prize for our man student. And so pop it in there in the chat. We're going to be looking for you to respond to that. If not, if we don't have that student with us, we'll draw again, okay? Before the next door prize, how's that? So we got a few things to go through before that time comes. Okay, so we're going to move right along, and I'm going to ask Ms. Jennifer Thomas to join us in sharing out about our secondary programming. And Jennifer is our secondary program coordinator. She assists with advanced placement, pre-AP, does all kinds of stuff to assist our teachers, provide support to our staff. And she also serves as the Dunbar GT facilitator as well as our secondary coordinator. So Jennifer's going to share with us some information about pre-AP classes, AP classes, all of the stuff that happens between grades 7 through 12. Jennifer, are you with us?
Yes, good evening. Okay, this is an exciting GT night. We get door prizes and everything. Okay, so let's talk about secondary GT. We offer pre-AP classes, and your pre-AP classes help prepare you for your AP classes. And they actually offer the rigor that you need to kind of help prepare you for the pre-AP level, for the AP level. The GT content classes are only at Pulaski Heights and Dunbar. And with the GT content classes, they're what pre-AP gives you, but they emphasize more of the GT field with as far as your creativity. We cater to more of the effectiveness, and it's more complex, and you will see a lot of GT related things done in those classes more so than you would in a regular pre-AP class. Now, your accelerated classes are at every middle school, and it's important to know that when you choose an accelerated class, that puts you on the pathway to take an algebra and physical science in the 8th grade. Okay, so that would be important for if you're wanting to take a higher level class when you're in high school. Let's say if you want to get to that calculus level for AP, then that would take you there. So that's why that is so important to know, okay, what are my options? I can take pre-AP classes or regular classes. I can take GT content classes, and then I also have accelerated classes. Now, we urge all GT students to take pre-AP. We really want your whole schedule to be pre-AP because we need you to continue with that rigor. If you find that there are some subject areas that you do well in more than others and that you really don't want to take on that rigor in a course, we do work with you there, but we urge you to take all pre-AP classes. And then the GT content classes, if you're at Pulaski Heights or Dunbar, they will look at your scores, or if you feel like you are able to meet the demands of a GT class. We don't deny if you're GT, but we want you to know the work that it's going to take for you to be successful in that class. So now we offer 34 AP classes here, 34 AP subjects here in the Little Rock School District. Most are at Central. There's 34 at Central. If you notice, there's 17 at Southwest High. There are 15 offerings at Hall. There's 3 at West High because they're kind of new still, but they're adding to it each year, and 18 at Parkview. And we urge you to take on that challenge. And we have AP boot camps in the summer that can help prepare you for those classes. You can move to the next one.
I'm trying to get there. Sorry, Jennifer. Here we go.
Okay, so the benefits of AP. Arkansas universities have accepted an agreement with universities in the state that if you make a qualifying score of a 3, 4, or 5, that it will be accepted at an Arkansas university. And just recently, College Board put out that many states have made that agreement that they will accept a qualifying score of a 3. And this is important because it helps save you money when you take AP classes and you earn a qualifying score. You're more prepared for college. AP students normally earn higher GPAs in college. Many complete the programs in shorter time spans. You graduate on time because you're already prepared and you're used to that rigor because you had it in high school. So we do urge you to take advantage of AP in high school so that you can, again, save money. You already have hours. Some people leave high school and enter college as a sophomore. So we do want you to know about those. So these are the results of our 2020 AP exams. If you notice, you'll see the total AP students taking the exams versus the total AP exams taken. That means that it was 710, like let's look at Central. There were 710 students, but they took multiple subjects. So they were enrolled in more than one AP subject. That's why that number's that way. If you notice where it says 5, 4, and 3, those are qualifying scores. And when you take an AP class, you all are going to take the AP exam because the state pays for it, and we want you to take the exam. But if you don't earn a qualifying score, there's also another benefit that you get a weighted credit. So if you've ever heard of those people that get like 4.25s and things like that, that is why, because they took advantage of the AP classes. I know a lot of people ask that, like, I thought it was a 4-point scale. Well, they took AP. Okay. This money that we receive from qualifying scores are put back into our AP program at the schools. So if you notice, this year we were able to receive $71,600 from students passing AP exams. Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
All right, so if you are in an AP class right now, we do want you to take advantage of the AP Daily videos that have just now been presented from College Board. This was done to try to tie in that virtual learning with the in-person learning with the hybrid learning. So you can take advantage of the AP Daily videos either on your own, or some teachers may assign lessons from the AP Daily videos. We urge you to join your class section if you have not joined your AP class section yet, so that you can have all the resources that the AP Classroom offers. I also want to tell parents to really pay attention to the Big Futures, the site right here, bigfuture.collegeboard.org. You can get on Big Futures and actually map out your career. You can say, okay, I want to be this. They'll tell you what classes you'll need to take in high school. You'll prepare as far as money. You can pick a college that you want to go to. And it's sort of pretend, but it's helping you prepare for your actual life. It sets that tone for you. It tell you, now it's time to fill out that FAFSA application. Now it's time to apply for this scholarship. So I would advise everyone, if you have a high school student, to go ahead and check out Big Futures. And parents, you can also find information on College Board at parents.collegeboard.org, and they have different webinars for you to check out.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. And in conclusion, we want to share some other program options that we provide throughout the year. These are extras. And so I've asked Ms. Rhonda Adams to share out about these, and she's going to share some additional information about a program you may have already heard about called Destination Imagination. Ms. Rhonda, are you with us?
I am. We have several additional program options for our students in the Little Rock School District. We do a Sparks Summer Camp Academy every year. Of course, this past year was the first time we've ever had to do Sparks virtually, and it was a huge success. And so we're real excited about being able to offer that again. We have Quiz Bowl, chess, Governor Schooled, the Mathletes, Math and Science, the YES program, which is Youth Entrepreneur Showcase. We do the stock market that we tie in with the Arkansas Department of Ed. We do the Arkansas Schools for Math, Science, and the Arts, where you can apply, and lots of others. And particularly the one that is my personal favorite happens to be Destination Imagination. And it's been called DI. But Destination Imagination has really taken off here in the district, and we've been very successful with this program. And a lot of students and a lot of actual even teachers, parents have jumped on board to become team managers and participate in Destination Imagination. For those of you who may or may not know what it is a creative problem-solving program that allow kids to do real-world problems, to solve those problems, working collaboratively together to come up with some outlandish solutions that they think would fix the different problems that set of problems that they have. And it comes in lots of different categories. And we're getting ready to rev that up virtually this year. So we'll have some information about an upcoming Zoom that's going to be scheduled for Monday, 6 p.m. And we'll get that out to you if you want to jump on and learn a little bit more about it and see what it kind of looks like virtually. I'm really excited about it because it's going to give our kids an opportunity to really stretch their muscles, their challenge their brain muscles on how to work together, but in a Zoom, in a comfortably safe environment, and how to compete in a safe environment as well.
Thank you, Rhonda. We're really excited. We've had great, as she said, great success and a long time success with Destination Imagination. And it certainly works to build those communication skills and presentation skills of our students, as you guys saw exhibited in the promotional video that Ms. Pamela Smith assisted us with. Those students are all DI kiddos, and they definitely have benefited from being a part of that program and presenting. So it's a lot of fun. So next Monday night, look for the information. We'll have another Zoom just about DI if you're interested in participating in Destination Imagination. Okay, so we got prize time again with Susan. Susan, did our prize winner before claim their prize in the chat? Susan, you're muted.
Okay, I did not see them ever in the chat.
Okay.
So will we draw for 2 this time now?
We'll draw for 2 this time then.
All right, let me get it pulled up and get my wand out and
It is email
ready.
in the chat, Susan.
What?
The winner did put their email in the chat.
Oh, I missed it. Good.
Okay,
I'm glad you
I
caught
want to
it.
give the prize away then.
Yes. Okay, and number 198, which is Lila Eddings.
Lila Eddings. Do we have a school?
Probably. I had gotten off the page, sorry. Jefferson.
Jefferson. Okay, we've got a winner from Jefferson. Okay. All right. Lila Eddings. Is that what you said, Susan?
Lila Eddings. Eddins.
Okay. All right, Lila. Drop your name and how we can contact you in the chat, and we're going to move right along until our next prize giveaway. So you got until then to claim it, and it will be the Gifted Kids Survival Guide. So I'm going to lay that over there. So Gifted Kids Survival Guide. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I'm going to share with you all about our identification and placement process in the Gifted and Talented program. As we talked about at the very beginning of the Zoom, gifted programming is based on a state definition of gifted and talented and includes those 3 things in the Renzulli, 3 rings: the academic, talent, and task commitment and motivation and creativity. So those are the things that we look for in students. Of course, the Gifted program is here to provide extra support for students that are doing well in their regular curriculum or their traditional class. And these are students that are needing something beyond that because they're doing so well. They need more of a challenge, maybe that they're not getting in their traditional classroom setting. So when we begin our identification process, first of all and foremost, just like in the quiz, one of the questions is, who can nominate a student? Anybody can nominate a student for services. Anybody can make a referral. In fact, our Gifted and Talented website actually has a link where you can go make a referral online. So if you have a student that you'd like to refer to be considered for placement, you can go on there. It's really simple to fill that out and submit it to us. And then we'll connect from our office to the school that the student attends to get that process rolling. So anybody can refer a student for services. And we formally identify students traditionally at the end of 2nd grade. But again, this year in this season of COVID, we've not been able to complete that placement for 3rd grade. So we will be placing both 3rd grade that is attending 3rd grade now and our 3rd graders for next fall in the spring. So just to clarify that. And so our 3rd graders are receiving whole group enrichment and some extra support since we're not able to provide pull-out services for them just yet. But once a student is nominated for the program or referred for the program, then we begin collecting data, and we actually start collecting data way before then. In our kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade classrooms, as specialists go in each week, they're actually talent spotting. They're out there looking for students with great potential that may need some extra support. And they're collecting some qualitative data from students as they complete activities in whole group enrichment. And they're working with classroom teachers. We do take a lot of recommendations from classroom teachers and referrals for students that they feel need extra beyond what they're providing for them in their classrooms. So we do collect that data. And then once a student is referred, we send home a letter to ask permission to collect additional data. And some of that includes this nonverbal reasoning assessment, which we also use as a universal screener. I don't mean to be back and forth on it, but at the second grade level, we actually do administer this reasoning exam or reasoning assessment to every second grader in the district. And why do we do that? We do that so that we are identifying and looking for those students that might not be nominated, but who do have potential. So every second grader in the district is given this reasoning assessment. It's a nonverbal assessment, has no reading on it. They don't have to read, it's all puzzles. And so we're really looking for that logical thinking, that problem solving ability with those students when we administer this reasoning assessment to all second graders each spring. So we do use that as a universal screener, but for someone that maybe missed the universal screener, that is part of the testing process when we gain permission to continue testing, or if we have someone who comes in later from another district. So we also look at achievement exam scores, classroom grades, behavioral rating scales that teachers provide for us. We do have some gifted academic measures that we administer once a student's been referred for services. And again, as I mentioned before, those enrichment samples and observation data that we collect from those enrichment classes. Those are all things that are utilized in the identification and placement process. So once we gather all of that after a student is referred for services, then a school-based committee reviews all that data for each nominated student. And the school-based committee makes a placement recommendation, whether that be that the students' needs are being met in the classroom and they don't need anything beyond the traditional curriculum, or if the student needs something extra. So the things that they're going to review are listed there. They're going to review their achievement test scores, their creativity test scores, behavioral ratings, the reasoning exam scores, and then our measures that we administer in the gifted program for math, science, and language arts and social studies. So all those are reviewed in that process. We have a committee of 5 that review that at each building level. They make a recommendation, and they do this as part of a blind screening. So the names are taken away. The data speaks for itself. And each committee makes their decision after they've made their recommendation. That comes to a district review committee. And the purpose of our district review committee, the specialists actually meet with the district review committee to bring their placement decisions to us to review. And the purpose of that is really like a standard assessment type thing, where we're just making sure that we dotted our I's and crossed our T's, that we gave all the assessments we were supposed to, that we did have 5 committee members on our school committee, and then to just really get an outside look at the data. So the district review committee can determine that a student is placed, or even they can disagree sometimes with the placement committee at the school and ask for additional data. And so it's just a second layer of a review in the process of placement, just to assure that we are reviewing and placing students equitably within the district. Once a student is placed in the program, a letter is sent home to ask for permission for the child or student to participate in gifted services, and we receive that permission before they begin attending gifted and talented support services. So that is the process. It's a multi-step process. And I'm going to ask Ms. Sandra Fountain to talk with us for a moment about what gifted characteristics really look like in the classroom setting and at home. And parents out there, you're probably going to recognize some of these things in your children. So Ms. Fountain, can you share this information with everyone?
Yes, and I want to say that while our GT specialists are certified in teaching GT, we also give PD every year to our classroom teachers. So they are well aware of these things as we go through the identification process, and they will often recommend students that they see have outstanding potential. So advanced vocabulary, things, you know, they just read a lot and use vocabulary way beyond their years. They have a quick mastery and recollection of fact. We usually say 1 to 2 repetitions for mastery. And in fact, in GT, we accommodate the other way. Instead of needing more time, we usually take a lot less time. They love to read. They want to know what makes things tick. The kid that takes things apart, that, you know, you may have parts of machines all over your house. They catches or understand more than others when reading or reviewing a film or a movie. They're the kid that may be the only child laughing when something comes on because they get the humor that a peer may not. They want to have complete understanding of how things work. This is also the kid that will go home and give themselves homework. If they didn't get enough information, they will go home and research to where they can come back the next day and totally understand it. And they communicate clearly and articulately. Some examples of creativity, they ask a lot of questions. The kind of questions that I often have to say, give me a minute or we'll talk about that tomorrow, because I have to go look up the answer. They are very comfortable taking risks. They love adventure. I found GT students really enjoy like simulations where they can get to be somebody or do something else. They have a keen sense of humor. A good example I can give is last year, I had an assignment for kindergarten where they had to disguise a turkey. And this little guy disguised the turkey as his teacher. And she was wearing a very colorful outfit that day. But you could see her in this turkey with the colorful feathers. The class and I all had to laugh for quite a few minutes on that. They give unique and clever responses, and they like to adapt and improve and modify things. And they also may be socially sensitive. My students have been very sensitive about COVID. They understand the numbers and things. So I can tell it is really getting to them. And is that the end of our slide?
Let me move to the next slide. There are a few more motivational examples. If you want to give a couple of examples of those from your classroom, Ms. Fountain, we'd love to hear about them.
Easily bored with routine tasks. Now, they're not bored with life. GT kids are never bored. They may not be doing what you want them to, but they are never bored. They become absorbed in topics of interest. I had a group of kids a few years ago that were writing a graphic novel about the superhero they invented, and they spent nearly a year on it. It was 3 guys, and they would pass it back and forth, and they never got tired of it. They strive for perfection. This is the kid that will do it again and again till they get it right. They work independently. Very often we have to practice group work because they so like to do it on their own. They have trouble. Those are some skills we work on in GT. They are stubborn. They know what they like and what they believe. And it's not always an unpleasant thing, but if they believe something is a certain way or somebody is the best author, you cannot change their mind very easily. Very responsible. Again, this is the kid who gives themselves homework. They're very self-confident. They adapt to new situations very well. Transitioning from the classroom to the GT room and back to the classroom does not bother them. They're able to just ebb and flow right back in and out. They're sociable, and they direct the classroom when placed in a group activity. They do like to lead, and leadership is one of the things we definitely look for. Okay, and I think that's
absolutely. Well, thank you, Ms. Fountain, for sharing. Thank you, Ms. Fountain, for sharing out. I'm not sure if you guys are hearing me at this point, but we're going to move on to our next slide. And I've asked Ms. Amber Wilson to join us to talk about some myths about gifted education. I know that that list of characteristics may have also if your child doesn't check off all those boxes, it doesn't mean they're not gifted, but we definitely wanted to share some of the characteristics that you could look for in gifted children. So Amber, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you share out some information about some of these? You don't have to share about all of these, but we have a list of common myths up there now about gifted education.
Well, we truly hope that the information you've gained from this meeting will help eliminate some of these common myths about gifted education and our gifted learners. Number one, which some of you may have heard, gifted students don't need help. They'll do fine on their own. Well, as we've learned and shared tonight, and as we know, our students who are gifted learners benefit from rigorous instruction that goes beyond the curriculum. They also benefit from activities that cater to their affective needs. You may have also heard, all children are gifted, but as we shared in the definition of gifted education, we know that students that have high ability in intellect, academics, motivation, task commitment, creativity, these students are gifted learners. I also hear this quite often, that the student can't be gifted if he's making bad grades. But we actually know and have seen in the past that students who have gifted ability, while we know that they're not bored, sometimes they could be bored with routine tasks and they need that extra motivation to really bring out their gifted ability in many other ways. So I hope that the information shared tonight will really help us dispel some of these common myths about gifted education.
Thank you, Amber. And I also want to draw everyone's attention down to number 10. Our district has a gifted and talented program called Advanced Placement Courses. And this is a myth that I want to dispel for everyone. I know Ms. Thomas shared earlier about the benefits of advanced placement, but we want to share that anyone can enroll in advanced placement coursework. Not just our GT students. It's open for everyone. Anyone who wants to take a college level course in high school can enroll in advanced placement. Anyone can also enroll in pre-AP. They just have to have that task commitment to work hard and do well on those courses. So you do not have to be identified as a gifted student to take part in those opportunities of pre-AP and advanced placement at the secondary level. So we definitely want to disperse that myth as well. And thank you ladies for helping to explain some of these and share out about them. Certainly we want everyone to understand that we're here to provide support for the students that are needing something beyond the traditional classroom setting. And we're specifically looking for those students with the academic talent, task commitment, and a high degree of motivation and creativity. Now we understand, yes, there are talented students out there that are maybe musically talented or artistically talented, but our gifted program, we have other programs within our district that support that talent development. Our gifted program, because of our state definition of gifted talented, is geared toward academic strength. So that's why we utilize a lot of problem solving and project-based learning in gifted programming, is to help build those intellectual and academic skills in our students. And yes, we do value the arts. We value musical talent. We value athletic talent. We value all those things as well. But our program is aligned with that definition for gifted programming in this state of Arkansas. So I hope that kind of explains why. And her parents sometimes say, but my child is gifted in playing piano. And that's fabulous. We want you to find an outlet for your student to grow by connecting them with the arts programs that they need to develop that talent. But gifted and talented programming within our district is an academic program to support that academic and intellectual development and growth. So those are some common myths. We're going to move right along, and it's prize time again with Susan. So Susan, did our last prize winner claim their prize on our chat? Susan, I think you're muted.
Okay. Actually, the last two drawings did not. I think the only prize we actually had the person online was for the Nearpod. I don't think the two that we drew for.
Well, we did have the, okay, yes, we did. Okay, I agree.
So I think we actually have 3 drawings to do.
Okay, well, we have 3 things, and then we we do have a final prize after these three. So we'll try.
All righty. So our next number is number 53. So let me see who 53 is. And 53 is Sydney Wooden at Booker Arts Magnet.
Okay, Sydney, if you're out there, drop your name and how we can connect with you in the chat. And Susan, if you want to go ahead and pull two other names, we'll go ahead and throw those out there as well.
I will do that. Okay. I lost my generator. Hang on just a sec. Okay. Number 110 is next. And number 110 is Aiden Butler at Romine.
Aiden Butler, if you are on the Zoom night, let us know in the chat. Okay, go ahead and pull the third one.
Number 202. And that is Luke Britton from Williams Magnet. And I saw them on.
Okay,
so
Luke.
they got off. I know they're here.
Okay, all right. So we're going to move on toward the end of our programming. You guys pop your name in there in the chat. Let us know how we can connect with you after tonight to give you your prize. And the three prizes that we were drawing for, just to kind of share, we've got this Gifted Kids Survival Guide, a book that we ordered, 101 Success Secrets for Gifted Kids, and then the Gifted Kids Workbook. And this is actually mindfulness skills to help with all kinds of things. So cool little book for our students to enjoy. And then we did give away our rocket pad, our rocket book, but we do have one last prize before the end of the evening, and it is an amazing gift basket full of study supplies for at home, for any student to use, and also a dry erase board with dry erase board markers. So just a whole bunch of supplies that you can enjoy and use in your office spaces at home. Okay. All right. I see Luke's parents got on there. Congratulations. And we'll draw again at the end if we don't have the other two claimed. So moving forward, Miss Julie Robinson, I realize we are going over on our time, so we understand that if you need to hop off, that's fine. We're going to talk a little bit about our curriculum and how it's different from a traditional classroom or the traditional curriculum, and then we're going to be finishing up. So Julie, you with us?
I'm muted. Okay. Hi, guys. I'm here. All right. So the curriculum for the gifted must differ not only in degree, but in the kind. It is important to avoid more than the same. So, and I'm not going to read like word for word what this says because we are pressed for time, but mainly we strive to engage the students in, again, like we've said before, in activities that, that extend from the classroom. So not pretty much the same thing. We try to push the students to not only work towards things that they're strong in, but we also want to push them past even those things that may be a little bit challenging to them, to help them to be more risk takers and be able to, not always, students to be not always be penalized for being identified as gifted or being given that extra work. It's not busy work, it's to be able to push them past where they currently are. And so curriculum should be differentiated in the areas of content process as well as products. The differentiation may be in the level of complexity, the pace of learning, or the degree of abstractness. So, we all know that students work at a different level. We all know that even with some of those myths that Amber read out to us about how, kids in gifted program don't struggle. And that very well may be the case because of the fact that it's pushing them past that, the level of comfort and giving them that more complex, rigorous curriculum. So it's, common to see students struggle. However, they are able to obtain and reach the goals that we have set for them, as well as those goals that they've set for themselves. And so just kind of end, the next one is talking about the additional skills, as well as the program that we focus on. We focus on decision making, We highly, focus on activities that engage them in problem solving, creative thinking, independent studies, research, as well as organization, effective interpersonal and character development, as well as we emphasize on goal set. And Ms. Shinable, she mentioned that early on. We really highly recommend them to reflect on their learning, reflect on their strengths, reflect on their weaknesses, as well as their areas of growth, so that they can be well-rounded, and so that again, that they can be pushed beyond that level that they might be on inside the classroom. Excuse me. And so we do focus on the Bloom's taxonomy, the evaluation, the synthesizing, analyzing, as well as application, comprehension, and knowledge. And then the gifted classroom more so looks at the knowledge as well as the comprehension. So it's kind of the reverse of what the regular classroom, how they kind of arrange and organize the content area that they supply the students with. And so it says the knowledge, the comprehension, application, the analysis, the synthesis, and the evaluation.
We kind of flip it around, don't we, Julie? We emphasize the evaluation more than the content in our classrooms.
You're absolutely correct.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Julie, for sharing out about our curriculum and how it differs from a traditional classroom setting. And we are to our final prize time with Susan. And so we're going to check to see if we had our prizes claimed. From the previous one, I know that we had Luke's parents claim his prize. Did we have any of the others?
I did not see any of the others.
Okay, well, let's try one more time.
If so, speak now, or we are drawing for your prize again. Okay, so let me wave the wand as the wizard, and number 197 is our next one, and that is George Cox. And George attends Jefferson.
Okay.
And we have number 141. And that would be Branch Jacoby from Gibbs. So are either of those there? And that would be those 3 books, I believe. Yeah. So I guess let's give them a moment to see if
they're on and can respond.
Jacoby is here.
Okay, yay.
So if Jacoby's mom would put her information in there, or dad, whoever's here, and so we'll know where to send that. And I will, are you ready for me to draw for one more for the third one then?
Yes, let's do, okay, so let's do for the big basket full of goodies.
Do you want to do the big basket or do the last book first?
Oh, let's just go for the big basket and then we'll come back to the book.
Everybody give a drum roll. Here is our big basket number.
Yeah.
Okay, number 232. And that is Raina Haynes from Pulaski Heights Elementary. Raina Haynes.
Okay, so if Raina is on here, if not, this is, we're here.
Nope.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, we're here. And
somebody's here. Who is Lenny? We need to know which student that is
that
there.
is the one we just, okay. I guess the one we just drew for.
Okay, for Raina. Okay. All right. So Raina and Jacoby have checked in. Luke and George, we have not heard from Luke and George yet.
No, we heard from Luke. We did not hear from George.
Oh, we did not. So we have one book left, right?
We got one book left.
Okay.
And Jacoby's has asked, do you want an address or a phone number?
Just give me a phone number and we'll give you a call tomorrow and figure out how we can get this sent out to you.
Okay, and
And
our
Arlena,
last
if you
book.
guys will put a phone number in the chat, we'll print that off in the morning and give you a call to get that basket or arrange for a time that we can get it delivered to your school and get that to you.
And our last book is for Jude Butler from Williams Magnet.
Okay, is Judy, excuse me, is Jude on tonight? Jude.
Hey, Jude, are you here?
I have a nephew named Jude.
I always want to break into song when he comes to class
I know it, right?
because I'm cheesy that way.
Okay, so we're gonna give Jude a minute. Okay, we're gonna give everybody, okay, there is Jacoby's information. So I'm not sure.
Jude is here. I
Jude
just
is
saw it.
here.
Yep.
Yay, okay. Let us know how we can get in touch with you. Phone number in the chat. Thank you so much. Well, we finally got those given away, didn't we? That was a little bit of a challenge. We had so many people register for tonight, but we did have a lot of participants who were able to jump on here as well. We want to finish out by sharing some additional information with you. If you want more information about gifted programming and gifted support for gifted and talented youth, there are some sites for you. There's a National Association for Gifted Children. They have a wonderful website. In fact, their national conference actually starts this week and it's going to be completely virtual. So parents, you may want to check that out. It's the National Association for Gifted Children. They have sessions for not only professionals in the field of gifted, but also for parents. So you may want to check out their website. Also, we have a statewide organization. It's an affiliate of the National Association for Gifted Children, and it is called Arkansans for Gifted and Talented Education. And you can look that up online and join AGAT as a parent. We invite you to join us. Our conference for this year will be also virtual. It will be in February. And so you can check that out. And then we also ask that you check out our website on the LRSD webpage by going to lrsd.org and go to the departments link and look for Gifted and Talented, and that will take you to our webpage. There are a lot of resources posted there, a lot of resource links, so you can check those out. And then also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We try to do a pretty good job of sharing out exciting things to just keep everybody in the know about the activities and programming we have going on. So just follow us on there and you'll be in the know about all things GT in the Little Rock School District. So, and then also we do want to share, if you want to snap a picture of this screen, if you don't know who your gifted and talented specialist is at your building, here is the list. So our elementary program staff are all listed there. So you'll know to call your elementary school if you're needing to get in contact with that person and ask for them. So I'll leave that up there for just a second longer. You can snap a picture of that on your screen and have everyone's name for all of our elementary specialists that serve our elementary campuses. And just a little side note about our specialists, we have to teach gifted in the gifted and talented program, to be a gifted and talented specialist. All of our specialists have had to be certified in the field of gifted and talented education. So that means that they have had to work toward a degree beyond their teaching degree and add that to their licensure. So it is a specialized field. And it is something beyond a regular teacher's degree. Most of our specialists have earned a master's degree or higher in gifted ed. And so we have a very knowledgeable staff in our gifted programming, and we're very proud of them. We do a wonderful, wonderful job of reaching and supporting our students. And then our secondary program staff, same thing applies for these representatives at each of the building, our gifted facilitators that offer monthly effective needs meetings and support. And they also teach GT seminar classes and other core content areas. And they have all been working toward and have earned a degree above their teaching degree in gifted to be able to do that. So there's your list. If you need to get in contact with the secondary staff member, snap a picture of that. And while we're looking at that, from our chat, I've asked our staff to be mindful of any questions we may have not answered. So can you guys see any questions that we need to address before we close out our meeting? And I know Miss Pamela Smith was on with us, and she did broadcast this meeting on Facebook, on the LRSD Facebook page for a while until 7. I'm not sure, Pam, if she's still on here, if we had some questions we need to address. Okay, somebody wrote in the chat, I have a question.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at the chat.
That's okay. Go
Getting
right
that.
ahead.
Thank you. My name is Brooke Montgomery, and I was asking about the presentation early on. You showed a pie chart of the racial distribution of the GT students here in LRSD, and I was just wondering how representative of the overall LRSD school district is that racial distribution?
It's fairly well aligned. We do have some work to do. I think we're a little bit off in our African-American population. And so I will share what we've been doing to address that for the last 3 years. We sit down twice a year, and our GT specialists are all going to go, yes, we do. We sit down twice a year and we really look at our demographics at each school and how they compare to the gifted program population compares to the overall school population. And we're working to align those percentages so that our GT programs at each campus are more closely aligned with the overall demographics for each school. So that is something we've continually been working on for the last 3 years. We end the year and start the year and looking at that and just raising our awareness. And that's also another reason why we use that universal screening, is we're working hard to try to make sure we're providing equitable services to students. So great question. Thank you for asking that question. Yeah, it's a little bit off on African American, and we're a tad bit off on Hispanic, but it's nothing that is out of like complete alignment. Our program is monitored by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and that's one of the key indicators they look for. If your program is 20% off in a specific demographic, then they will provide support to your district in that area. And so we're well within that. We've not had a visit from them because of our demographics being completely out of kilter. And again, we've been working to really monitor that twice a year and really raise our awareness at each building of, okay, if I haven't identified as many African-American or Hispanic or whatever demographic there, that if it's not representing equally, then I need to be paying more attention and be more mindful in looking for those students, because we know we have bright students from all races. So I hope that answered your question.
Well, it does, and I really appreciate what you just said. I think that's very insightful. I guess my follow-up question to that would be, instead of doing it by the school building, doing it by the actual rates in the district, because we know that by the school district is very dependent on neighborhood, as opposed to the Little Rock School District overall, where you may actually have that 20% disparity between the overall racial distribution of LRSD versus the distribution in GT.
Well, that's interesting that you shared that. From the state perspective, they actually require us to do that or promote that we do that by building. But we definitely will look at it from a district. It's about the same, to be honest with you. And I could go pull those numbers and be glad to share them with you. But as a district, and those are the disparities that I'm sharing with you, are the district disparities. But again, we look at it at the district level and the school level.
Oh, sure. I think that's a really interesting perspective. Just from, I guess, I work at UAMS, and so that's why I'm a little bit aware of the numbers. It's about 70% African American for the LRSD district, and I think you mentioned it was about 50% in GT as just one of the kind of standalone racial groups, but that may be true for the other groups as well. But I think that's a really interesting perspective, and I appreciate you looking into that.
Well, we have been monitoring that, as I said, for the last 3 years. So it's definitely something that each of our schools look at each fall and each spring as we begin our identification processes each semester.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's see what other questions we may have in our chat. that we may have not addressed. Do any of our specialists see any questions there in the chat that we did not address tonight?
You have one that says approximately how long after testing will we know if our student qualifies?
That process depends on a number of factors. We do try to accomplish that testing as quickly as possible and then assemble a placement committee. In this season of COVID, that process has kind of been slowed down somewhat. But when we typically do our mass identification process in the spring for a second grade, we wait until the fall semester to make those announcements and placement announcements because we have a lot of movement. And so we make sure that students are enrolled back into the district in the fall before we make those placement determinations for the second grade. But if it's a student that comes in the middle of a school year who a parent or someone requests that they're tested, then we begin that process and try to get that turned around pretty quickly within a month. And we do hold monthly district review committee placement meetings. So we are, working on those monthly or even bi-monthly or as often as they're needed to review those placements. A lot is dependent on how long it takes us to finish that testing process. And again, if it's a virtual student, then you have to arrange for the student to be brought to the school and those kinds of things. So it could take a little bit longer, but that just is dependent on a lot of other factors. But again, as quickly as we can get those done, except for in the spring when we identify those second graders going into third grade, we do wait until August when they come back to confirm that they are enrolled before we complete that placement process. Okay, did you guys see any others?
I have one more.
Okay, sure.
How can we get more information about the other resources that you guys offer? There was a slide like Mathletes and stuff like that, because it seems we are at the mercy in a way of the school. If the school doesn't send us info, we are not fully aware about that. We don't know how to get info about that. The other question is there a way we can get a slide or information to know, like someone mentioned that the GT, Pulaski Heights and Dunbar have GT classes. There is some other school who have pre-AP and AP. That was very quick. Can we get like this information sent in an email so we can plan the future of our kids better?
Okay, so I think we had two questions there. The Mathletes program is operated by our district math department, and that usually occurs in the spring. And so I would look for information coming from your school about participation in Mathletes when they select their teams. So that may come home to you in a school newsletter. You can certainly check back with us and we will try to keep you informed as to when that goes out. Our office isn't always completely aware about when those go out to the schools, but we can certainly try to get you connected with Mathletes when that gets started in the spring. I'm not sure what that's going to look like for this spring in the current environment that we're in, but we can certainly work to help provide you with as much information as we have and connect, or at least connect you with the right people in the district, which would be our math department. And then the second question was about pre-AP. Was it about pre-AP classes or advanced core content?
Yes, which school will offer the pre-AP? Which school will offer like AP classes? It seems like Central is. We know GT, it was mentioned for Pulaski Heights and Dunbar. So if we can get those information, so as from foreigner origin, American, now it's hard for us to plan this for our kids because we haven't been through the system ourselves. So it's a little bit of a struggle.
Okay, and so with pre-AP, we offer pre-AP classes at every school. We offer those at every middle school and also every high school. And then the slide that we're sharing with you here is a slide that shows you all of the advanced placement courses offered at each high school. So what I would suggest you do with regard to enrollment in pre-AP, AP, or enrollment in our course content classes, we do offer some GT course content classes at Dunbar, which is our GT magnet middle school. And we offer a few GT core content classes at Pulaski Heights Middle, although not in every core area at every grade level. But what we would recommend for you to do is when they begin the enrollment process in the spring, your school counselor will be the one that you will need to connect to about getting your child placed in those classes for the following school year. So that process usually begins late in January and February as they start signing up for their classes for the following school year. So school counselors, and then just be aware that we do offer those pre-AP classes at every middle and high school. And again, the slide that you're seeing in front of you is the listing of AP courses that are provided at each of our high schools.
We also had a question about, is GT offered in every middle school? So I want to say that you can take the GT seminar is the class that your student will sign up for as an elective. So they have to make that choice when they get to middle school if they want to continue on with actually taking a GT class like the GT seminar. But as Ms. Shenovel just mentioned about the other GT content courses at Dunbar and Pulaski Heights. So if they're interested to continue, GT seminar would be what they would sign up for. And it is at every middle school.
Absolutely. Okay, well, do we have any other questions before we close out our meeting this evening? Okay, well, we don't want to.
Thank you. It was very informative. We appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Most welcome. Okay, let's see. And I noticed Ms. Pamela Smith shared in the chat as well that we will be sharing this program via multiple platforms that were mentioned above. So if you want to go back and rewatch the video later or share it with someone, you're welcome to. If not, we will end this evening by sharing congratulations to all of our door prize winners. And again, if you have any further questions about gifted programming or advanced placement programming, feel free to reach out to your GT specialist at your building or call our office, LRSD Gifted Programs. Our office number is 501-447-3390, or you can email myself or Ms. Jennifer Thomas with any questions that you have at the district level. But we certainly encourage you to reach out to your building level GT specialist or facilitator if you have any questions. It's been wonderful to have each of you on here with us this evening. We appreciate your questions and your participation in tonight's meeting, and we hope you're having a fabulous school year, and just let us know how we can provide support to your student. Again, remember, if you'd like to nominate or refer a student for gifted program services, you can go to our website at lrsd.org, and there is a referral link. You can actually place that referral in there, and it will begin that process of considering the student for placement. So with that, I'm going to close out our evening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our staff for being on tonight and helping provide information as well. We hope you have a fabulous evening.